Welcome back to the Rise and Grind Workshop. If you're new here, my name is Ryan, and for today's video, I'm super excited. I want to give a big thank you to the team over there at J's Printer Parts. If you guys have always wanted to know how to make your own t-shirts like you see here, this right here is the tool that's going to allow you to do that. This is the all-new J13 APRICITY DTF Printer, and that DTF stands for Direct to Film. So we're going to go ahead and walk you through the process of how to get this unit unboxed. We're going to do a quick setup on it, and I'm going to do an overview on it as well. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Once you've placed your order from J's Printer Parts, you'll receive tracking information. This crate came from R&L Carriers, and as you can see, the bottom portion of the pallet area got a little beat up during the shipping. So anytime you receive a freight package upon delivery, that's when you want to do a really good inspection. The overall crate itself looks pretty good, so I don't have too many worries there. And I know most of you overthink the process. That's why I really like to do these ultimate unboxings, and you guys really seem to enjoy these videos as well. This crate does weigh about 68 pounds, and right now I'm going to go ahead and give you some overall measurements. The overall length of this unit is going to be 38.5 inches. The depth of the unit is going to be 21 inches. And from the bottom of the crate to the top is 19 inches, not including the bottom pallet portion that's broken. And in a later video, we're going to be uncrating a new machine from J's Printer Parts. That's down here below. The J13 is only in this small little box right here. Now let's go ahead and show you how to get this top open. You're going to find 3 metal tabs on the front and 3 more on the back and 2 on the side. Let's just go ahead and get a screwdriver and start to peel these apart. Now that we have all the tabs bent on the lid, let's go ahead and work our way around that perimeter and get this lid off. We have the exact same tabs on the sides. Let's go ahead and bend those up, and that's going to allow us to peel the framework off of this crate and expose the J13 printer. Once again, with both sides of those tabs, that's going to allow you to get this front portion exposed. So as you guys can see, J's did a fantastic job packaging this unit up. These heavy duty crates really protect these machines during the freight shipping process. And a pro tip for you, just in case you do encounter an issue with your printer, try to take good care of your crate when you disassemble it and not destroy it. In the worst case scenario that you have to ship this thing back, you've at least saved the crate, which is going to make that process a little bit easier. Let's go and get all this protective covering off of it, and we can set it over on our workbench and keep going through the setup process. We're just about ready to lift the J13 out of the crate and put on our workbench. They did secure the J13 to this crate with these brackets right here. Just make sure you remove all of these screws, and then that way you can freely lift this out of the crate. Now that we have everything removed from the crate and all the hardware removed from the fasteners on the bottom, let's go ahead and grab this unit and get it set right over here on the workbench. So here is our first look at the J's J13 APRICITY. Really neat looking machine. Let's get that camera repositioned, and I'm going to start the overview process, and I'm going to cover all the really neat features on this all new DTF printer. The all new J13 features a single XP600 printhead, which will give you 2 dedicated white channels along with your CMYK. Right out the gate, some of the nice features I'm noticing on the J13 compared to the cheaper models on the market. This has a nice actual linear rail on the X-axis. You have a cast aluminum vacuum table right here, and the holes extend the entire length of that table. That's going to allow that DTF film to lay nice and flat on this platen right here. Let's keep going and get this thing assembled, and I'm going to show you some more features along the way. Next up, you're going to want to locate the outfeed table that came inside of the crate. This is also going to feature 2 tabs on the left and right hand side, which is going to keep that DTF film from rising up. It has a built-in cutter to cut the DTF film, and another really neat feature, they have a little heating element on the bottom side here. In order to get the outfeed table installed, you're going to notice 2 cutouts on the left and right hand side, as well as this electrical connection. Go ahead and simply locate those 2 little prongs on the outfeed table and get those set into those holes, and it's simply going to drop down. Next up, you're simply going to connect the electrical connection. On the back side of the unit, you're going to find your main power supply, which is 110 volts right here with your main power switch. You're going to be looking for these 3 screws on the left and right hand side of this feed tray, And that right there is where you're going to come in and you're going to mount the DTF film roll attachment. So we're going to go ahead and unscrew these 3 screws, and then we're simply going to screw this bracket in. Once you have the film holder bracket installed, go ahead and locate the stainless steel rod. Make sure you put the end caps on it, and then you're going to take these little grooves and put them inside of the indentation right here on the bracket. Later in the video, we will show you how to install the DTF film roll as well. With the cover open and over on the right hand side, this is the print head carriage, and this sits on the capping station. You're going to notice a Phillips screw right here. During the shipping process, this screw is what keeps this carriage from moving around. Go ahead and grab your Phillips head screwdriver and remove this so that the carriage can move freely along the X-axis. With the screw removed, you should be able to gently grab that carriage and move it to the left and right. We're now ready to get the software installed and get the printer hooked up to our PC. One of the best benefits of purchasing this J13 from J's Printer Parts is the US tech support. If you have any problems getting this software installed, feel free to reach out to J's tech support and they can remote into your computer and help you get the software set up. Inside the crate, you're going to go ahead and locate the accessory box, and they're going to include a USB printer cable, and you're also going to be looking for this box right here, which has the RIN software and security dongle. Now here's a pro tip that is very important, so pay attention. A lot of people have software installation problems because they take the USB thumb drive, insert it into the PC, and then they try to install the software. Make sure you copy all the contents of this USB thumb drive onto the desktop unit itself, then go ahead and run the installation. The RIN software will also use a security dongle. So this is the thumb drive with the software, and this right here is your security dongle. This will need to be plugged into your USB port on the PC in order to run the software. Now that we have the software installed on our PC and the J13 powered up and connected, let's go ahead and open up our DTF ink. This is the iMagic line of ink, and we get this from J's Printer Parts, and you know our discount code RISE and GRIND will save you some money on these inks. We've been very happy with the iMagic line of UV printer ink, and we're going to be using the same as well for our DTF machine, and these come in 1,000 milliliter bottles. On the right hand side of the J13 is where the ink jugs will be located. Go ahead and gently lift up on this cover and remove that. That's now going to give you access to these ink tanks. You're going to have a white ink jug which has an automatic stirring station which is going to keep that white ink circulating to help prevent clogs, and then you're going to have your CMYK colors right here. On the back side of the printer is where the waste ink tank is going to be. Go ahead and undo this little zip tie, and you're going to go ahead and insert this little clear tube into the waste tank. You're also going to notice a sensor on that waste tank that's going to let you know when this tank is full. This portion should be pretty self-explanatory. The W represents the white, so we're going to locate the white DTF ink and start to fill all these colors up. With the white, it's very important you give it a really good shake to distribute the particles inside of that ink before placing it inside of the jug. Another pro tip, you don't want to overfill these tanks, and they do have some indicator marks right here on the side of the cover. For starting out, we're only going to fill our tanks up about 3/4 full just to make sure everything's good to go. Now that we have our ink properly loaded into those ink tanks, let's go ahead and open the cover and slide this carriage out over to the middle of the table. Since this is a brand new printer setup, we're getting ready to load the ink into the system, and we're going to help assist that just to make sure we don't have any problems loading inks. You'll notice 2 Phillips screws on each side of the carriage. Let's go ahead and remove those really quick. You'll notice with that front cover removed, we now have access to these dampers. And unlike a UV printer, these are white and clear. You don't have to worry about the light curing your ink in a DTF printer, as this uses a water-based DTF ink. Head back over to your accessory box and locate the syringe that they include with your package. Unfortunately, this process can get a little messy, so I've just placed a little rag under the carriage and the print head, and I've got a little waste bucket right here. Let's go ahead and start with the first damper on the far left, and this is going to be our black. All you do is give that a light wiggle, and that should pull out of the print head. And you're going to notice a small little opening here on the bottom. All you're going to do is take that supplied syringe, and you're going to put that down there into the bottom, and then we're going to start extracting the ink. We're going to keep pulling to get all the air out of the system, and eventually you're going to see that black ink go through the clear line, and we want to get this damper full of black ink. Here comes that ink. Do you see how that black ink is now filling into that damper and it's up into the syringe? So now let's go ahead and just squirt that black ink out. Technically, we could put this as nice and clean ink. We could put that back inside the jug if you really wanted to. It's a very minimal amount of ink. Now that we have ink in the damper, let's go ahead and put that back in position. Now a pro tip, you're going to notice these ribbon cables on the left and the right hand side. You're going to want to take extreme care and caution not to fling or spill any ink onto these ribbon cables. That will drip down into that print head and you could risk shorting it out. Why I'm talking about that, we also have this DTF power turned off. Anytime you're messing with these dampers or anything with the carriage or the print head, it's always a wise idea to leave the power off of this unit so you don't accidentally fry anything. Now let's go ahead and move on to our second color. Here comes the blue or cyan. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and just fast forward this and finish filling these dampers up with ink. So if everything goes correctly, you're now going to notice each one of those clear tubes has the correct corresponding color. The ink is down inside of the lines and inside of those dampers. So now when we go inside the software and load the ink, the system isn't going to have to work extremely hard and fight getting air out of the lines. We're now ready to load the DTF film on the back side of the printer. With your J's purchase, you're going to get a 12-inch roll of this DTF film. Let's go ahead and remove these end caps, get the plastic wrap off. And this does have an arrow showing you which way it should go. Once you get to this point, this will make sense. These end caps are going to be placed inside of this cardboard hole right here. They also have a set screw, so once you get the width correct over here on the stainless steel rod, you're going to go ahead and tighten this down. You're also going to notice a second support bar. The film is going to go over the top and then come under that support bar. Let's go ahead and get this installed. You'll notice on the cast aluminum platen, there is an indication mark running on the side here, and you have 3 rollers right here. Just go ahead and make sure these levers are up. That way the film can feed between the roller and that knurled stainless steel rod right here. Right here is that line that is scribed into that flat platen. Go ahead and get your film loaded up and along that edge. Once you're lined up there, go ahead and decompress all 3 of those levers. Once you've confirmed the film is in the proper position and aligned with that registration mark, grab your Allen key and go ahead and come in here and just snug these little set screws up. That way these adjusters won't move on you. Now we want to make sure the DTF film is tracking straight. You'll notice on the outfeed table, you've got these small little tabs with 2 screws. Inside of the Better Print software that you just installed, go ahead and feed out that DTF film. You want that film to be underneath of these little metal tabs right here. Let's go ahead and keep feeding that film out. You'll notice there is a small channel on each side of these metal tabs and those 2 Phillips head screws. That's going to allow you to move this in and out. Let's just go ahead and slide these up over this film a little bit, and then we're going to secure those down. Once those are tightened down, go ahead and continue to feed the film out and go ahead and retract the film. You want to make sure it's not binding up and flowing nice and free. That looks great right there. I think we're now ready to load our ink and do our first nozzle check. Here we are inside of the Better Printer app, and you're going to notice right over here on the right-hand side, this says Add Ink. Again, this is a single print head machine, so you're going to see where it says Head 1. You have a start, stop, and reset. So we're going to go ahead and click on the start. You're going to hear that pump activate, and we're going to let it run for about 15 to 30 seconds until we hear that pump struggling, knowing that ink is starting to get into the system. Then we're going to hit stop, move the carriage out of the way, and confirm that ink is inside of that capping station. Here we go. Right now, I can hear those dampers filling up. I can hear the pump struggling a little bit. Let's go ahead and click stop. Up here on the top portion of the Better Printer app, you have a left, right. That's going to control that carriage to the left and to the right. The X reset, just like on our UV printers, that's going to home that carriage back into the capping station. And then the feed forward and the feed backwards is what controls that DTF film that you saw me moving forward and backwards. Let's go ahead and move this over to the left and confirm there's ink inside of that capping station. print carriage move to the left, that is your capping station, and you can see that is full of ink. Now let's go and do a head cleaning and our first nozzle check. Now that we confirmed there's ink in the capping station, let's go and hit the X reset. That's going to send that carriage back home, and then now we're going to need to hit the clean icon. Once the print head is clean, your icons will light up blue and the flashing icon will stop flashing. Now let's go ahead and come over here to the nozzle check button and click that. Now let's go ahead and feed the film out and take a look at our nozzle check. It's probably going to be really hard to capture this on camera, but you should have two white channels, your yellow, magenta, cyan, and blue. And for our very first nozzle check, that looks really good. We're going to do one more head clean, and then we're going to run some sample prints, and this thing should be up and running. So let's go ahead and do our first test print on this all new J13. Go ahead and open up the RIN software, and you're going to locate the import icon. Go ahead and import in the file you would like to print. For this project, we're going to go ahead and choose this file right here. We're going to click OK. Now this white area represents the width of the printer. If you come right down here to the bottom, you can click on this horizontally center, and that's going to put your design right in the center. Next up, come on over here to the show icon, click that one time, come down to the ruler unit. We are in millimeters right now. I personally like to stick with inches, so we're going to click on inches. Next up, I'm going to come on over here to the print icon. We're going to go ahead and click print one time. Once that is finished processing, let's go ahead and open up our Better Printer app, and we're going to go up here to where it says Task Browse, and you just need to pay attention to where you save your file. Right now, I simply have mine in the downloads. Here is the RNG Roses. Let's go ahead and double click on that file. You will navigate up to the top and locate the print icon, and we're going to go ahead and click print. Another pro tip, which is really easy to forget, prior to starting your print on the lower left-hand side, you're going to see another power switch. That's going to handle your heating element, which is under that outfeed table I showed earlier, as well as that suction and vacuum table, which is going to keep your DTF film flat. Make sure that is turned on prior to your printing. So one thing you'll notice if you have any experience with a UV printer, this is going to print the opposite way. We are now laying down our CMYK color layer, then it's coming back in and putting the white base on top of that color layer. That's why you need to make sure you mirror your artwork in the RIN software prior to printing. Now another thing that you might notice while this printer is running, that white is not a nice flat even. It looks a little distressed. I will be doing a full tutorial if I get enough likes on this video on how to set up your artwork and start printing DTF prints that feel nice and soft and look like a professional print. There are a lot more tips and tricks you need to learn with a DTF printer. Once your print finishes, that carriage will return to the home position. You're going to go back into your Better Printer app. Go ahead and feed that print out just past that little bar right there. And again, we're going to use that little automatic cutter and slice our film, and that's it. You might be saying to yourself, that print doesn't look very good. Now remember I just said I'm going to do a full tutorial on how to properly set up your artwork to start printing like a pro. Take a look at the design on my shirt right now. That is the exact same print that we just printed. I did what's called a black knockout, and I also put on a distressed texture. Once you press this onto a black t-shirt, we are using the color of the t-shirt to create the black in the image. That's how you keep your prints from feeling like a giant sticker on your shirt. That's one of the downsides of DTF prints when you're buying prints from somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing. Now again, if I get enough comments and likes on this video, we're going to be doing a full tutorial on how to properly press your shirt. Another neat feature about buying the J13 from J's Printer Parts, they're also going to supply you with the DTF transfer adhesive. If you're not familiar with how to do a DTF transfer, once you pull that transfer off the heat press, your next step is going to be to bring this over. Now, if you're new to DTF printing, this powder is going to adhere to this ink, and then you're going to bake it in an oven, and that's going to act as the adhesive, so when you press it onto your shirt, the transfer will stick. We just keep our powder in a Tupperware container like this, and we have ourselves a little cup. We drop our transfer in, and we just sprinkle some powder right onto that transfer. Then we lift our transfer up and we sprinkle it left, right, back to the left, back to the right while shaking it. Once you've got good even coverage, go ahead and shake the extra powder off. I like to give mine a couple flicks. And then now this is ready for the oven. Now you might be thinking to yourself, did he just say oven? Do I need another piece of equipment? Well, have no fears. When you purchase your J13 Apricity, you do get this DTF oven right here. This operates on standard 110. You can open up this little cover right here. You would place your transfer inside. Depending on which powder you're using and what type of effect you're going for, you're simply going to adjust your temperature and your time settings. Once that comes out of the oven, you're ready to heat press this onto a t-shirt. Some other really neat features on the J13 that you don't find on similar desktop units. You actually have a cover that swings open. You now have access to service and do your maintenance on the print head and the ink capping station. You also have access on the other side to open another door, and you can flush out your print head over here on this side. And if you do find yourself in the unfortunate situation where you do need to get in here and work on some things, take a look at the side cover with these screws right here. Again, that's going to allow you to dive into this machine and easily access it without tearing the whole machine apart. Trust me, that's huge. So whether you're a hobbyist or a small business looking to level up your game and start offering more products to your customers, I would highly recommend you take a look at this all-new J13 Apricity. We've been extremely happy with their line of UV printers, and you can really tell Jay, the owner of Jay's Printer Parts, and his team has spent a lot of time testing out these units before bringing something like this to the market. These desktop printers in the past have had a bad reputation. This machine right here addresses a lot of the issues that those cheaper printers have had. So far, I am really impressed with this printer. That XP600 print head is a very good print head, and as you guys saw, the print quality was amazing and it printed extremely fast, and I love the fact that I could service it. It has a linear rail on the X-axis. It has a cast aluminum platen. The vacuum table worked extremely well. The built-in cutter is amazing. You can easily access the ink takes, automatic ink stir. I can go on and on. So I just want to give Jay and his team over there at Jay's Printer Parts a big thank you for sending us this unit to test out. This is going to be a staple here in the Rise and Grind workshop, and they are always hooking you guys up as well. And if you want to save some additional money on your J13 Apricity or some UV printers or inks or print heads, I will have a discount code down below in the description, and I'll drop it right here on the screen as well. Drop a comment down below and let me know what else you guys would like to know about this machine and what type of future videos I should be making. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.